Okay, so we just finished filming the show. What would you do with an extra $90,000 in retirement? Now that is an intriguing title. And in our show, Sean shows you exactly how you can get an extra $90,000 just from the Social Security element of the overall retirement plan. Or at least that's what our hypothetical couple, John and Sue, got out of their Social Security in our online Journey to Retirement workshop. So learn all about the strategies that John and Sue use to identify what is the best strategy for them, and then how they optimized it to achieve over $90,000 of extra Social Security in their retirement. All you have to do is click on the link. That'll take you to the full show. Social Security can be really confusing. In fact, recently I was having a conversation with an individual. I said, you may have up to 81 different options when it comes time to electing your Social Security. She says, 81 different options? How am I ever going to determine what is the best option for me? So we talked about how we go about identifying what is in fact going to be the best Social Security option of the 81 different options. And those options are going to be different if you're single, than if you're married, or if you're single today and you used to be married before, whether you're a widow or a widower or you're divorced. So we have to go through all those different options that are particular to you, but it can be confusing. In fact, it can be so confusing that if you ask 3 different people what you should do with your Social Security benefits, you're probably going to get 3 different responses. If you ask your coworker might tell you, you should take your Social Security as soon as you possibly can at age 62. You don't know how long you're going to live. Social Security, after all, is going broke. You hear that study each and every year. Take it while you can get it. If you ask your neighbor might say, you get an extra 8% increase on your Social Security benefits from age 67 all the way up to age 70. This is a lifetime benefit. Delay, delay, delay. Take advantage of the bigger lifetime income. If you ask your brother might say, take your Social Security benefits at your retirement age. You do not want to take a reduction. You want to continue to work up until your retirement age. Take it at that point. And then if you take it one step further and you work with an advisor, you ask your advisor, what should you do with your Social Security? Your advisor may take the off-the-shelf response of take it as soon as you can or delay. Or the advisor might say, actually, I'm not qualified to talk about Social Security, so go talk to the Social Security Administration, elect your benefits, or let me know what your decision is, and we can talk about it from there. It's a lot of options, which offers the confusion. The way we look at the options and the confusion of Social Security here at Merkle Retirement Planning is we see it as a good thing. Because you have so many different options, if you use those options to your benefit, then you can actually get more out of your Social Security than if you just had the 3 options that shows up on your Social Security statement, age 62 for retirement age and age 70. So we do look at all the different options, and then we also bake those options into your overall retirement plan. Remember, there's 6 pillars to your retirement plan: the lifestyle pillar, the income pillar, which Social Security is a part of, your tax planning pillar, healthcare planning pillar, investment planning, which what you do with Social Security will impact your income plan and could have a significant impact on what you do from an investment planning standpoint. And then the 6th and final pillar would be your legacy pillar. All of those are intertangled. The decisions you make on each could impact the other. One of the parts that makes Social Security confusing is there are so many different names, even acronyms. So we're going to cover 4 different terms that you might be familiar with when it comes to Social Security, and there's a whole lot of confusion about. Let's start with FRA, full retirement age. This is the age at which you will not receive a reduction of your benefits. If you were born between 1950 and before 1960, your full retirement age is somewhere between age 66 and age 67. If you were born in 1960 and beyond, your full retirement age is age 67. So it's at that age that you will not take a reduction in your Social Security benefits if you elect your benefits at that particular age. Primary insurance amount is another acronym, PIA, that we often hear about, but what does it mean? Primary insurance amount is the amount of Social Security benefit that you will receive if you wait until your full retirement age to take your benefit. So if your full retirement age is age 67 and your primary insurance amount, PIA, is $2,000 a month, if you wait until 67, you will receive that full $2,000 a month. A lot of times people will use full retirement age and primary insurance amount interchangeably. They do mean two different things, but they are heavily correlated. And that's also where some of this confusion can come into play. Spousal benefits. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to spousal benefits because there was a landmark change in Social Security legislation in 2016. Prior to 2016, this legislative change, a whole lot more people had spousal benefits available to them. But that was changed. Some people now have spousal benefits available to them, and a whole bunch of people don't. So this is what ties into this confusion, because your neighbor might be talking about how they receive spousal benefits, but you might have heard from somebody else that said they are not eligible for spousal benefits. So what does that mean to you? The way spousal benefits work now is that if you're married and your benefit is less than 50% of what your spouse's benefit is, you may be eligible for a spousal benefit. However, there are a lot of if-thens. A spousal benefit means you are eligible for up to 50% of your spouse's primary insurance amount. However, if you elect your benefits early, let's say you elect your benefits at age 62, you're not going to be eligible for that 50% number that a lot of people hang on to. You will only be eligible for 32.5% of your spouse's primary insurance amount. But if your amount that you're going to be receiving exceeds what you're eligible from a spousal benefit standpoint, you're not going to be eligible for a spousal benefit. You will just receive your benefit. So I'll give you a quick example. Let's say your spouse's benefit is $3,000 a month. Let's say your full retirement age benefit is $1,500 a month. If you wait all the way until your full retirement age of 67 and take your benefit is going to be $1,500 a month, which actually equals what your spousal benefit would be, which means you're not going to get a spousal benefit. If you take your benefits at age 62, you're going to receive a reduced benefit, but your spousal benefit eligibility is also going to be reduced from 50% to 32.5%, which means you're also not going to be eligible for the spousal benefit. However, if your benefit wasn't $1,500 a month, it was $1,000 a month, in that scenario, you would be eligible for the spousal benefit. You wait until full retirement age to take your benefit, and instead of receiving your $1,000, you would receive the $1,500. You'd get the $1,000 for your own benefit, and then the spousal benefit would be an extra $500 to get you to the $1,500, which would be 50% of your spouse's benefit. That's how the spousal benefit works today. It can be confusing. There are a lot of if-thens, and this is where your retirement plan that spells out your Social Security options and the dollar amounts in line with those options can really help clarify what is right for you and how much you would get if you make that particular decision. The other term that we often hear confusion on is survivorship benefits. Survivorship benefits means if you were married and your spouse passes away, you could be eligible for a survivorship benefit, which means you don't receive up to 50% of what your spouse's benefit was. You could actually receive 100% of what your spouse's benefit was, and you're eligible to start taking a survivorship benefit as early as age 60. So in that case, you don't have to wait until age 62 to receive some Social Security benefits. And in fact, it is a really effective strategy for many survivors to take their survivorship benefit at the age of 60, continue to allow your benefit to grow, and you can continue to allow that benefit to grow all the way up until age 70 if you want to, and your benefit grows while you're receiving income from Social Security in the form of that survivorship payment. Or another strategy is you wait until you're 62, you take your benefit, and then you allow your survivorship benefit to grow all the way until your full retirement age. So if you're a widow or you're a widower You may have even more options. You certainly have more options than just the normal single individual. You may have even more options than a married couple. You need to investigate all of those to determine which is going to be the best for you. Another question we get with Social Security, or maybe a remark, is Social Security going broke? Because we get reminded of the insecurity that's involved with Social Security financially each and every year when the study is produced, and the studies will say that Social Security is going to have to reduce benefits if everything stays the same between now and the year 2033. Sometimes it says 2034. So you hear that and you say, I'm 2 years away from retiring. I need Social Security. Is my benefit going to be reduced? Not only at that point when you could take it, but maybe in 2033, 2034, when you're already taking it, are they going to reduce your benefit? The answer to that question is we're going to find out. My opinion, however, is that it's not likely. And the reasons why it's not likely is for those people who are already taking benefits or are within 5 years of being able to elect benefits is because there's so many other changes that Congress can implement to shore up Social Security that it's not going to negatively impact you. You have contributed to Social Security for how many years? 30 years? 40 years? Now it's a matter of how do you get the most out of this investment that you've been investing in for all this time. It would not be politically expedient if the politicians, if Congress would now look at you in the eye and say, we're going to reduce your benefits that you've been counting on for the last 30 years and investing into for the last 30 years. All of a sudden you're on the doorsteps of retirement, we're going to yank those from you. It's not going to go over well when the politicians have options like decreasing my benefits, where I have many years to prepare for a reduced benefit, my kids' benefit, many years that they can wait and prepare for a reduced benefit and put other plans into place where you don't have that kind of time on your side. Also, there's ways that, and there have been proposals, and some of these proposals are going to be implemented. Social Security has been around for a long time. Since 1935 was the first legislation that was enacted, and the first payment started in 1940. Since 1940, actually before, there have been significant changes to Social Security. There will continue to be changes to Social Security. One of the changes is this year, 2024, the first $168,600 is subject to Social Security tax, which means that tax goes to help fund Social Security. The proposals have been to increase that or even eliminate that cap. So if you make $1 million, the whole $1 million will be subject to that cap. No matter how much you make, that could be subject to Social Security tax. That could be implemented. That would help shore up the Social Security fund, as well as many other changes that have been considered. One of the likely changes I could see is a means testing. So if you are on the doorsteps of retiring or you're already retired, they could put a means testing on it, which means if you make more than $400,000 of income, you may not receive all of your Social Security benefits. Of all the different proposals that I've seen, that one is probably the most likely that could impact you. But it's going to be a small percentage of you that it actually impacts. So I would rather you make your decision on what you're going to do with Social Security based on all the other factors outside the factor of is Social Security going to go broke, because it has been around for a long time and it probably will be around in a very substantial way for a very long time in the future as well. So do the analysis custom to you. Incorporate it with all of the other pillars of your plan, and then you're going to have a lot of confidence on what you should do with your Social Security. And probably the biggest thing of all is you're not going to have to look back 5 years from now and say, I wish I would have. I wish I would have known that about Social Security. I wish I would have made a different decision knowing what I know now. You're going to make the right decision now, the right decision later, and you're not going to have those regrets that so many people have when they listen to a neighbor, a coworker, or they don't do the full analysis. If you have questions on your Social Security, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to retirereadycall.com. You can sign up for a time that's convenient for you to have a conversation with a retirement planner about your situation, answer your questions, and get you on your way to a comprehensive retirement plan to help you achieve your retirement dreams. Look forward to talking with you soon.